Um, okay. It is Saturday evening. Hoping if I can spot this mission. It's quickly into this live. Actually, somebody asked me about it earlier today, which I did write a post some time ago. The problems that I had with the cars, especially the BMWs, my wife's. And actually I wrote a status on my WhatsApp saying that the car took me to hell and back. The BMW X6. Yeah. So we started having car problems. Actually, it didn't start with the car problems, but it started with one day we woke up and the boundary wall was all down, of the house that we are staying in. So, and then when the bank came, they told us, good, they're not going to fix the house. The wall, we must fix it. It was not built according to spec and whatsoever. And we bought it as that. We bought it like that. It was a freestanding house, beautiful, and so forth. So that's where the thing started. And then after that, we started having issues with cars. Kia. I was driving a Kia Cerato, a 2-liter, an automatic one. So one day the Kia, while my husband was going to a meeting, and then on the N1, then the car decided to go to, it's no longer going anywhere, and then it just went, the engine just switched off, went dead. And then we called the insurance, and then they came and they towed the car back to our house. And then they sent, because it was on a Friday, then they said they're going to send somebody on Saturday to come and assess the car and let us know what the problem is, because the engine just switched off dead, like a switcher off while driving on the freeway. The engine switched off. So that's what the issue was. So again, when the Kia people came on Saturday, they told us, yeah, there's many issues. Naidu, the car has been moving, no problems whatsoever, ever since we've had the car, no issues at all. Never, ever. Bought brand new, no issues whatsoever. So that was 5 years later. Okay, so the car, they came and gave us a quotation, but was to a quotation on Monday. Quotation came back and said about 40,000 couple of rands to fix. There was a problem with a very big problem with the engine. So they're gonna have to rebuild the engine. Okay, we thought with no. My brother-in-law is a mechanic, qualified mechanic, accredited, and he does my engines. Let's call him and ask him to come and check with what the problem, what is the problem with this car. Came and checked, and he said, no. You know, this car, you're definitely gonna have to rebuild the engine. And for that, you need at least minimum, if you don't have the money, at least 20,000. And we are thinking, Himana, just like that. Anyway, fast forward to that, we ended up being gifted with a BMW. My husband was gifted with a BMW 3 Series. Actually, let me just give the testimony as it happened. When the Kia gave us that problem, I remember going to a meeting in church because I was part of the executive at the national structure. So in the car, I shared with them that my car has got a problem and we don't know what it is. So, but what I know, next time we go to this meeting, we're gonna have another car. And guess what? That meeting was in February, and in September we went for a conference, and I was already driving another car, which was a BMW 325i. That was gifted to my husband by this white guy. Guys, gifted 1, 2, 3, gifted like that. Why? Because while we were busy having this issue with this particular car, we had decided that time, let's have one car, because I don't normally use the car. So having 2 cars that I knew it's pointless. So we sold his Jeep, and then we were left with this Kia that we bought brand new. So now we were having you using this one car. Now the car is no longer there. So the one guy at church said to me, you know what, I do have a car sitting at home, and then Passat, yes. You can come and get that car and then use it while you are having your car fixed. So then we got that Passat. Oh, Passat. So my husband went to a meeting. Driving that Passat. So the the white guy, when they came out of the meeting, was like, no. You cannot be driving this. This is your car. Then the husband said, yeah, my car, our car is in for repairs. And I said, no, you can't have this car. Here's the car. I just bought my wife a BMW X5. So this car, she was using it, so you can have it. Use this car instead. We took the car, everything. We went and got it repainted. Hey, beautiful rims. Yay. 3 months later, the car is mixing engine with oil and water. We called the guy, but no, man, there's a problem with this car. This car is mixing oil. It's showing that engine error, and it's mixing oil and water. And then we've taken it to BMW. They told us we must change the water pump. We've changed it. They said we must change what was the other thing? Hey, I'll remember these things. But we've done all of those things. This car is still showing the very same error. Yeah, now, it happened that we still use this car. I think it's about a year, but with those issues. Ning is the, what is it? This cam belt. There's a problem with the cam belt. There's a problem with the water pump. There's a problem with the oil, what. Yay. Busy fixing these things, but no solution. Fast forward a year later, my husband is at the garage now. At another garage on the N3, we're coming back. We're going to KZN. Then this guy comes and he sees us. This toilet a solution which we just keep on pouring cold water. You know, because the coolerant, yes, the coolerant is not working properly. So we know good time, we'll just pour in water to get ourselves fixed and so forth. This guy says, you know, when this car does this, you must know good there's a problem. So you must forget about it, go and get, actually, I do have another car, of which it's a model that is later than this one. So the other model that we were driving, it was a 2014 model. So this guy says, I've got a 2015 model, and then I'll give that one to you. Again, guys, second car, BMW 325i, beautiful one, even this one. We Sailanda, we get there, the car is working fine. 3 months later, same error is coming up on this car. And we like, hey man, same error, take it to BMW, they do. Same process again with the same car. By the way, now we've got 2 different BMWs that are giving us issues. The Kia is still being fixed. The Kia that just switched off on the highway, it's being fixed. Fast forward, the Kia is now working, fixed properly. We're good. Now there's these 2 cars now are giving us issues. Call the guy now, this white guy. Say, no, but this car is also started. He says, no, there's something that you guys are doing to these cars. This car was working properly and there was no issue and whatsoever. What are you doing to these cars? And we are saying, no, we're not doing anything to these cars. Anyway, the Kia comes back now. It's fixed. We are happy driving the Kia. A month later, my husband gets hijacked. Yeah, just the engineer gets hijacked. They take the Kia. And apparently they were using the Kia as a runaway car. Now they took the Kia. Fortunately, it was not far from the police station. So he went to the police station, reported the car. They put it on that radio. Then they tracked it. They saw that it's traveling on this route. Then they were chasing the car. They saw the police chasing. Apparently, they beat a robot. When they beat a robot, they met with another car. Brrr, boom. Ikea, yasha. Boom. Actually, it hit head on. It was a head-on collision with a rock that was sitting outside of this house. Yashaya Lapiki. Remember, this is the same Kia that started, Anish, with its own issue. Now it was fixed. Now by Tata gave same time the Kia now head-on collision, blowy engine. Asha. Back to square one with the other cars now. Phone the bank says that's a write-off. That is a write-off. There's nothing that you can do. Might do. That time that car is paid off. Anyway, fast forward. How? While we're still figuring out, okay, now what is going to happen? Somebody else now sends us, oh, now my husband is busy, we busy with his meeting, consulting and whatsoever. Now we are using, we've hired a car. I don't remember what's the company now, the one that we hired a car for a whole month because we saw it's cheaper if we hire a car for the whole month than us fixing these cars. So we had the car for the whole month and we're using. Now the car is supposed to go back. Now these guys are saying to my husband, hey man, we want you to go with us because he was consulting. Let's go to Mpumalanga. There's something that we need you to help us with. And then he's like, no, I can't go come with you guys. You guys are going to have to arrange transport for me because this one is going back. And then so forth. These guys are like, what? You don't have a car? He tells them, but yay, 3 cars down. 3. All of them. The other 2, they've got serious engine issues. Oil mixing with water, oil mixing with water, oil mixing with what? The 2 BMWs. Then this guy says, no, man, my friend. You know what? Instead of you paying those guys that money that you are paying them, actually, how long are you going to keep the car? He says, no, it was only for this month. Says, okay, what we can do, because you are helping us with this particular project, then let's give you this car. So that's how I got the X6. The X6 BMW white M Sport 2016 model. Hey, driving this big car. How? The car arrived on the 31st of March 2020. On the 18th, when the president opened, we were going to bury my husband's uncle in KZN. As we're driving on the N3, how boom, knife light is coming out of this car now. This car, this same light that we've seen on the other cars coming up, engine error. The next thing, sesihamba sithela amanzi indlela yonke le, pouring water, hey, water coolant, basingene garage bathi hey imoto iyabili imoto. Hi. We went to Natal. By the time we got there, guys, angazi we just tell how many liters in that car. Imoto ishisa, bila. We phoned this guy, owner, there's a problem. This car has issues. What issues? Because this car was working fine. I said, no, the car is mixing oil and engine, oil and water. So, and it's giving an engine error. When we came back, we took it back. Now, at a different BMW, aside at a dealer because we feel these garages are not fixing the problem because even the other 2 cars have got the same problem. No, let's rather get somebody who's approved and let them fix check for us what the problem is. We get there, same problem. Coolerant, what? We must fix the water pump. We must change it. There's a leak on the water pump. We change the water pump. Hey, there's a leak. Guys, the same problem that we had on the first BMW, second BMW, this is the 3rd BMW. I'm talking in the space of 2 years, still having the same problem. And then we think, no. It's fine, buy fix. Then what happened was, I remember the other day, my son was driving out of where we're staying in that complex, and then the car is at the gate. Immediately, and switched off. Like in the evening, it was his birthday, so they were celebrating with his friends. So he was taking his friends there to their homes in the nearby, because in the nearby houses close in the same neighborhood. What happened to the car? But the car just switched off. The car just switched off. Switch off just like that. Yes, I was just waiting for the gate to open and the car switched off. And we've been trying to start it. It doesn't want to start. Fast forward, the following day, we get these guys to come and tow. Fortunately, the guy who's towing the car, the car, he's good. The guys that are towing, they've got the owner of the tow company has got a workshop. So they decided, no, let's rather take it to the workshop, because you can't find this the way we're saying we're going to take it. We can't find those people, so we're taking it to his workshop. Different guy now. We get there, they check the car on Monday, then they come back, but no, it's wiring, what wiring. And then I must get this, and then we get those things. How very the car starts. How all is well. How? Fast forward a month later, we are coming back from my sister's husband's birthday, surprise birthday, 40th birthday. We just got in there, we switch off the car. When I start smelling that no, sizobona ekuseni. In the morning, masithi start imoto ifuna ukustart. Ayibo. Guys, fast forward, the bottom line is we have had these issues. Now, we eventually decided, no, something is not right here. Something is not right. We cannot be having all these cars, different models from different people, all of them 3 months later, they have a problem. This one is even worse. It's not even 3 months later. Actually, the whole year, it stayed at the workshop before it came back. We only decided to consult after this incident now. This guy said, no. This white guy said, no, there must be something, you guys, there's a problem. I've never fixed a car with the same problem, and this problem that this car came with, and it's 6 months later, the problem has not been fixed. The car doesn't. Guys, when they come, they tell us, good, we must come and collect the car that same day. When we go there, the car doesn't want to start. Or there's a problem that they're picking up, or whatever the other issues, or there's a leak, or that error is coming up, and so forth. So that's the one, right? That's what guy says. Guys, when now you guys, there's something that you are not doing right, or something that is not right, because here it is the problem, and you cannot be sitting and then because definitely this one I can confirm it's not our problem. There's no way. We've done everything. We've done all the checks. We've done everything that you can be done. Guys, we saw cars coming in and out of that workshop. The same cars, and even bigger cars. No issues, but our car was not going anywhere. Until we decided, good, maybe it's time we go and find out. We've never done this. Maybe it's really time. People have been telling us, good, no, but you guys need to consult with all these problems that we are having. And this thing did not start only with the cars. It also started with the trucks, because we were owning trucks like oil, yabo? And there was issues as well. Started having these issues. Then this guy said, then we thought, okay, maybe there's something that is happening that we are not aware of. Let's really go in and consult and find out. And then eventually then we did consult, and then we find out. Now, these are the things that that we learned in this journey, that when we started fixing all of these things, this is what we learned. We learned that your car, your house, but especially your car and your house, they are a representation of you. Actually, what you know about yourself, what you see, they represent, it's a part of you. That is why even when your car is hurt, or if we are driving, like myself, I'll be driving and maybe I turn roughly or whatever, and then I'll say, oh, sorry, baby, I'll speak to my car. Then they told us, your car is a representation of you. So then if there's a problem like this, it shows what again, not with the cars. The cars are just trying to communicate to you what could be the problem. What they need the attention. There's something seriously needing attention on your side that has nothing to do with the cars, but it is coming through the cars, because that is where you are. It's easy for you to see there's a problem, because then you are seeing these things happening. Unlike you guys, and unlike other people will get sick themselves. Other people will have major problems, but with you, it has got to do with the cars. Now, this is what I want you to know. That's what are the other things that bring car issues. Remember, the engine ifana nenhliziyo emzimbeni womuntu. At the same time, the engine, the water, it fana like your blood, or the blood that runs in you, in the body. In the car, the water it's like the blood that runs in you, because which is also in the form of water. So then that's what we had to understand, which the car is a representation of who we are. Just like your house, if there's issues in your house, you have got to start understanding what, okay, where if there's a problem with plumbing, what does the plumbing helps you with? What is the purpose of putting the plumbing correct? Okay, the plumbing is to make sure whatever that you are in the house, it gets to connect with the storage outside. So it's a drainage system. So that means there's things that if I'm having a susa or that I'm letting go of that I need to be corrected. But me, I'm not doing it. Hence, they are showing up in the house that I'm using. Electrical connection, electrical things, electricity helps her to connect, and then and so forth. So that's what we learned. Okay, these are the issues when you are having these particular problems. So any form of a problem, I'm not going to be speaking of the cars now, what we learned on our side. Now, one, when you are having issues with you connected to your bloodline, when I'm talking about, number one, with us, with everything that we have had, all the cars that we have had, all the trucks that we have had, not even once did we go and say thank you. We've never even done a Thanksgiving, even in our own home, to say siyabonga for all the things that we have. The only thing that we did was to say, hey, Baba siyabonga, obviously in church, nothing at home. But what we had to learn was that we come, as I'm here as Unomasonto now, I came from my mother, and my mother came from her mother, her parents, and so forth. So it is a streamline, and everything that I have, it is not mine. Everything that I get gifted with, it's like I'm given these things as part and parcel of the journey of me being here. So it's like when Nomasonto, you said, when I come back come to Mother Earth, this is what I'm going to do. And in order for me to do this thing, this is how I want to be rewarded. These are the things that I want, which are the millions, the beautiful houses, beautiful body, great husband, kids, all these, you name all of these things. And then it's like you have signed your contract, which, okay, go get my child, go and do the things that you are supposed to do. And I get here, Unomasonto doesn't do the things that she's doing. Unomasonto is busy preaching the Vangeli Loguti. My own mother is a demon. Nothing connects me with her. I don't need to be speaking to her or whatever. And the very same mother came to me. Remember these car issues, they started 2017, 2018. And my mother came to me after passing on in 2012, came to me in a dream with something very huge that she asked me to do, and I did not do it because I thought, Vele, there's no such thing, and so forth. Even when I was presented with the evidence, because what she asked me to do, it's something that she had not revealed to any family member, but it was a suspicion. But with me, she gave me all the details. And when I went, I just thought it was a dream. When I went to speak to the family about this, I had this type of a dream, only to learn that this is something that has been buried within the family, it's known, and so forth. So, and we had the evidence, like essentially the evidence from people outside, where he said, I must go to this person. When we went to that person, we got the information. Guys, all in a dream. And this is from a person who, ever since my mother passed on, I never said, I only went when we went to put in a tombstone. After that, I don't do anything. Now it turned out with no. When you had to come back and come and revisit all these things. Number one, when we raise a child, Tina, as black people, we know that when you give something as small as a baby is, when you are giving your child something, you ask them to say thank you. You teach them to say thank you. Actually, you teach them to say thank you even before you give it to them. So once you give them that sweet, they cannot just take the sweet and eat it. You even call them and teach them what they must say thank you. So then this is what is happening. Now that now we are getting all the things that we are getting from those that are giving us all these things, because guys, Mina Village, my life has been a testimony. many things that are happening have happened in my life. It's things that we know. We should write a book, standard book method. This is how things must happen, but they never happen like that. They happen their own way. So I know it's not my doing. There is definitely a higher force somewhere that is making things happen for me now. And as well as like for us in this particular case. So I've always known that. But mina, I've only attributed that to uNkulunkulu, ukuthi that's it, nothing else. So I've never ever even once done a Thanksgiving ceremony to say thank you to my ancestors, to the people that are making things work to make sure that these things happen. I've never done that. Actually, up until that time, I didn't even understand how does uNkulunkulu work with amadlozi, how do these things connect, how these things are connected to me and all of that. I never understood that. So then that was my journey. We had to come back. Now, as I'm mentioning, issues with a car mixing oil with water. And when that happens, it messes up with the engine. And then what then happens, like with our cases, we had a engine blowing up gasket and many other issues. There were many other issues, but it all boiled from these leakings that were happening by Lobati water pump. It's a certain pipe, which is a little pipe, finally import, but nothing was changing. Then that's where we learned, though all of those things are just like all of us. We are all interconnected with all those that came before us, and even us with my kids and their great kids, like great grandkids and so forth. We are still going to be connected. So I cannot disconnect myself from that and then think that I'm going to come right. So what had then happened was that on our case, okay, let's just leave these people and see what is it that they will do if we stop intervening, if we stop doing that. Guys, we are very I just even came back from Israel. Israel in 2019. Hashem. Sakala kwangempela zagowisha strong. Anyway, that's what we learned. The same, anything that has to do with your car. Michael mix the oil and mines, then you must know what you use it as a there's a problem that needs to be fixed. There's things that are aligned to your bloodline that needs to be corrected. What are the type of things that needs to be corrected that are aligned to your bloodline? Number one, if, for an example, you are a woman and you did not even do your things properly, like your things were not done properly, meaning that your wedding and stuff like that were not done properly, then it's like you have disconnected. That will cause issues on your side. That is the first thing. If you are a woman but you are not married, but you have a child or you have children, and there were no was paid, there was no honoring of this womb that you came from. If the problem is happening with you, means it comes from your mother. If your mother was not done right, or things were not done right in your name or on your name through her, then you will start experiencing the problems, because there's things that needs to be corrected. So one of the things that we needed to correct was fixing in the Bayumsam. What do we mean by that? By fixing umsamo, in our case, I was not married properly, meaning my proper thing, my wedding was done wrong from the get-go. Those that know my story, they know Gucci. Mina was raised by my mother's sister, and everything was done there instead of my mother's house. Then my mother had an issue, asapila, and so forth. So we had to do that correction with my mother. Secondly, the very same thing that I had to do with myself, it started, even my grandmother, we learned to go to the same problem. She did not do things right. So the surname that we were using is not even the surname that we're supposed to be using, because that we are now kids of this family. So we had to also go and correct that, aligned back, because what is happening, actually you are being called to bring back things back into alignment, because as long as izinto in alignment, you're going to have problems. Izizo cascade gets multiplied or passed on from generation to generation. Like in our case, my grandmother's things were not done properly, so my mother and sisters and siblings things were not done right. Now it has cascaded to me and many others. That was the case. Now it was happening to us, and mina, it had already cascaded to my son. So I had to now go and redo this program. So izinto ebezithinta izinto zegazi, meaning that I was in misalignment. We were not paying attention to the things that needs to be paid attention. If we use the analogy of a car, of a vehicle now, the lubrication system, there's a lubrication system within your body, just like in the car. That's why we need to change oils and do this and that every certain kilometer. So there's a certain maintenances that needs to be done within a car. Just like a human being, there's certain maintenances that needs to be done within you and for you in order for things to come right. There's also what do you call it? Battery, which is the battery system as well within the car, which is the one that brings umlilo within the car. So same thing. Within you, there's things that must bring that you've got the same battery connection with is through your breath. You getting to know how to use your breath correctly and so forth, knowing how to rest and so forth. So when I will not share everything, mind you, in such a short space of time. I just wanted to make you understand what are the things that causes car problems. It is those issues where things were not done properly. And then when they were not done properly, then those things, they will happen so that you can get attention and then fix those particular things. Because if you don't fix them, it's like you are carrying on, you are passing it on to the next generation. And once it is passed on to the next generation, like in my case, I'm still alive, then it means my children's children are going to have the same problem unless if I start doing something about that. So izinto zegazi, meaning ukuthi you need to there's a cleansing, there's rituals, there's cleansing that needs to happen in your name. For an example, what are the types of cleansing that needs to happen? If it happens, maybe your father, for an example, one pig umama wakho, one pig, especially for people like me, abatholakale out of wedlock, one pig umama wakho, and there was no cleansing in your name already in your aura. Emoyeni, emkhathini, there's a debt that is sitting that needs to be cleared, or there's an incorrect, an evil thing, if I may put it, or dark cloud, that's the right word. Dark cloud that is hanging over, that needs to be cleared. And there's ways to clear these things that are aligned to each and every person, especially for us as Black people. There's things that we've got to do. Now, if there's any mix engine namanzi oil in engine in the oil, there's there's a wedding that did not happen properly, where the two come together. Because if you mix engine namanzi, engine oil and water, they will work if they are boiled. So if they are still in there, they need to be separate. Oil will be on the top, will float, and the namas are held, because until the water boils, then they mix together, they become one thing. So if you're having issues where your car is doing that, so you must know that you are being called to do the clearing of that mshato law within the family. Now you can start with yourself. Is it you that is married? Did you do the things properly? If it's not you, your parents, but these things you will know anyway once you start working with them. So that's what you need to know. 2, that needs to happen. For an example, as I've just said, if for an example, maybe when you've had an abortion yourself and you did not clear that, because the car, remember, if it is the representation of you. So if there's anything that is happening where these things are mixing oil and water, it just says that needs to be corrected. So that's what you need to go and do. Hence, you need, I've been sharing here with, when you have done these things, make sure that you do what is necessary. Because why are you doing that? It's to make sure what is it that they are always, it's like you are doing a maintenance, maintaining this body, maintaining this lineage, maintaining this family, what is it in order. Not what you are being created problems. The reason those problems are happening is because you are not paying attention. So there's something that must happen to grab your attention so that you can do something about it. So that's what you need to do, check. if ukuthi wena, let's say untombazana ke sengikhulumile abortion and miscarriages and all of that, if you are a male, wena azange uhambe uyohlawula, especially the first child, you did not do right by that woman, that you that was the first seed yakho. You did not do right by that woman. You have not done that right by the child. Believe you me, your car will show you flames when it's time for you to start going fixing those things. Because why? That car, that child, it's your blood. It's like you are having a part of yourself somewhere, and you are neglecting yourself. So what these things are saying to you, they are telling you that you are neglecting a huge aspect of yourself, and you need to go and correct it. You need to go and correct those things, so that, because once you correct those things, you are bringing things back into alignment. And many of us, we've disowned that aspect of ourselves in the name of Jesus. We no longer do these things. But funny, Dr. Sigula, we don't remember these things. There's no way in the Bible where it said you must go to the doctor, but we do go to the doctor. But because I've always been this doctor, guys. I've always been a spiritual person. I've always done things of the spirit. I just didn't know the level that I am in now. And I tried to disown many of these things and not connect with it. But unfortunately, you cannot run away from yourself, as I kept saying that. So you've got to go and check as a man, did you do right enough by the first person that you planted, where you plant, where is that seed of yours? So if the relationship with the mother is not well, or the mother doesn't want you to connect with the child for whatever the reason, you have got to make means. We are here, we can help you with that mediation process. You have got to go and do right by that child, because you are neglecting a very huge aspect of yourself. Ufana nethanga elithi maseliqhumisa lihluma, ithanga lizokhipha the first pumpkin. On the very same seed kuzovela any pumpkin, then iyande igcwale zonke indawo. So if the first pumpkin is not iphume impande engekho right, or seed isithelo esingekho right, zonke lezi ezinye ithelo nazo ngeke zibe right. So you have got to go and do right by that woman. If you, for an example, ukuthi wena uye wa decide ukuthi wena mina ngisazingeni zonke lezi mina ngizoba umfundisi, and then you are not even doing izinto ngendlela right ngesintu sakini, you are now doing the Christian way, guys, you're gonna have issues, you're gonna have problems, because you are neglecting, you are not maintaining and taking care of this aspect of yourself. This body is made up of trillions of memories of those that lived before you. This body. That's why you'll have Banbani's eyes, you have but it is made up of trillions of nations, of the people that lived before, of your lineage. So you cannot neglect that aspect of yourself and think that you're gonna be right. Those issues they were telling you. If ushaya umahlalisane uyintombazana, ushaya umahlalisane with this boyfriend of yours or this husband in Habena Yosaina, there was no lobola things because at your home abazwane and whatever, vele you will have, because why? Akwenzwanga leo, akuhlanganiswanga ngesintu sithi akuhlanganiswanga, ubuhlobo baqiniswanga kahle, akuhlanganiswanga amadlozi ngendlela right. So there's a fight. These two are not working together. The oil and the water are not working together. They are mixing and they are causing more damage, meaning there's a conflict in the spirit that is in your name or hovering around you. That has got to be cleansed. That has got to be corrected. That has got to be brought back into alignment. Those are the type of things. If when maybe you are even this person during the day, you are this good person, and at night you are this pastor that is abusive to the children, abusive to the wife, and so forth, and you are still using, guys, the cars will show you flames, because that's a version of yourself. It's telling you that there's a problem. You ungenzi izinto zakini, ungenzi izinto zakho according to every family. Every family has a reason they are here. Every family has got their order of doing things. Every family has got their ways of doing things. If you dishonor things of your family, you are dishonoring yourself. So there's no way ukuthi izinto zakho zizohamba kahle. Njengami nje umuntu besingakwazi ukuthi sithi siyabonga kubantu basekhaya, because everybody once in a year you have graced God to do a Thanksgiving. That's what was done before in my people, for my people in my lineage. That's how they lived. With every year we are saying thank you to God, and we are also saying thank you to our ancestors for giving us all of these produce and everything that we have. But Mina and my husband on his side as well, we were not doing it on us because we were thinking ukuthi Tina since the sontweni, and the question that stood ukuthi ungowakwabani wena. Uma ubuzwa kuthiwa ubani igama lakho, kuthiwa ubani isibongo sakho, so kuza kanjani ke ukuthi mase kufanele ukuthi wenze izinto ubonga abantu bakini then uzothi wena? No, you can't do that. How is that possible? And if you say you are not going to do these things, izinto zakudala and so forth, angisho uyazi ukuthi now you are not a new soul. You are not a new soul, you are an old soul, because you were here even before you were here as the spirit that you go back into when you die. So all these problems that you are sitting with, you are just being reminded, which, yay, there's things that you need to fix. You need to get back into alignment. And now this last thing, engizoyi share ukuthi, now what makes ukuthi ke mase ulungisa lezinto kuvele kube mnyama kokugcina, mase uqala ukuthi okay singaqala, why does it happen like this? Like that, because that's what discourages many people. But ever since isiqalele izinto lezi sokuwese, mina being right, that's how we console ourselves. Mina being right sonke lesikhathi usazi kahle ukuthi besingekho right. We knew thina ukuthi we have never been right for a very long time. Ever since 2015 we've been fighting people left, right and center to stand afloat, fighting. While ngapha there's blessings, ngapha there was so much resistance, and we were just fighting in this constant fight, and we didn't understand. So besingeke sithi thina right, besingekho right, we are not okay, but we are just making ourselves to be okay and making as if it's right. So hence we needed to realize ukuthi kunento engekho right kodala that we keep ignoring. Hence we had to go and stand up and do the right thing. Siyothola ukuthi yini lento. Now what causes ke ukuthi izinto zivele zibe ngathi zivele zithi mnyama bu. Guys, when you are doing a spring cleaning endlini yakho, Mawen's spring cleaning, we all know, when I walk in your house and you are doing spring cleaning, Mina that is walking in, I see the house as more dirty. The house becomes more dirty when you are doing spring cleaning. The house becomes more dirty. And lokho kusho ukuthi, it is because you are cleaning, you are taking out the dirt, you are taking out all the things that are no longer needed, all the things that are no longer necessary. As you take them out, it looks even more dirty than how you always clean. Because when you're doing spring cleaning and when you're doing normal cleaning, those are two different ways. You will see when you're doing your normal cleaning, but once you say today I'm going to do spring cleaning, the very same house that you've been cleaning on a daily basis and doing that's when it is, because that's how this thing works. It works like that because that's how things are, even in nature. Before kuzoqala enye umunyaka, we are now on autumn. Things are ziyabuna manje. Angisho they're changing colors, ziyaku brown. Winter zizoba brown konke kuphume. Winter, everything dies, and then even Mother Earth gets even more dirty. The very same things lesisibona zizinhle, ziyama flowers, beautiful and so forth, they are no longer beautiful, but they are dirty. But what then happens with that dirt, when we collate it and we put it together, which is either we're cleaning it out or Mother Earth is putting them inside of umhlabathi, kuvuna kabusha, kuvuka izinto ezintsha that are supposed to come out. And that is why then the spring season will come. So we need to understand, that is why it is because we have not been cleaning spring cleaning this house of ours for the longest time. It's even worse, the singers so it will become as if things are worse. It's not that they are worse, it's because vele kufanele kube kanjalo, because that's when we are cleaning out. Even now we ask, ugeza every day, but the day you decide ukuthi namhlanje ngifuna ukugeza ngesaka or kanti bathini ilitshe yabona ngetshe, once you start doing that yourself, ugeza every day, uzoyibona insila ezobigcele lapho emanzini, as if you've never ever wena bathe in your life, but you are ugeza every day. That is nature. So we should not despair. Actually, what we need to be understanding ukuthi vele kufanele kube ngale ndlela, it is because vele we are cleaning, but rest assured, when these things masiloku siqina, masekukhiphile lo doti, kuqaleke kabusha, indlu smells fresh, indlu smells beautiful, and things get back into alignment. Zonke lezi zinto ezilahlekile, just like in winter when everything dies, then once the death has happened, the season of death is done, then things bloom anew, which is in the spring season. Yonke into izalwa kabusha. That is the nature, that is the process of life, guys. We cannot run away from it. So agmoshegi even worse. That is when things are falling into place, when they fall apart. Injalo nje. So we need to understand that, we need to accept it. When your things are falling apart in your life, don't despair. Instead, when you can even rather try and establish, but how do I get myself right with these things? Because vena kukolula ukuthi imagine ukuthi bohamba ngazo zonke le inhlobo zeimoto ama-Porsche nani, the next thing you don't have a car. Not because you cannot even afford the car, but because everything is falling apart. Hey, that BMW X6, we spent over 200,000 trying to fix it. But eventually it did not get fixed. It did not get fixed. Instead, it was taken away. So it was taken away. Anyway, so that is why I'm coming with it. When you are seeing these issues, don't ignore. Don't ignore, reach out, find out where is the problem. Where is the problem? And what is nice is that you will always, in as much as when you are thinking about these things, you're like, I mean, right, guys, we are not okay. That is why many of us, even now, I know, how do I take care of this body? How do I take care of my inner world so that I don't get affected by things as apparently, but I stay more in balance, because I've been doing the work of me practicing, getting into practice, because it's no use doing all these things that you are doing, but still when turmoil. If there's that turmoil, you are not going to come right. Hence, we do the work that we do. Calm yourself down, stay in balance, stay in resonance, so that you won't get finally a way it is supposed to happen. By you not neglecting the things. Abanye bayagula nje kanje babulawa izifo left right and center sekuthiwa hayi izifo sale vele like us the high blood, I like us low blood. Guys, izinto zegazi, until somebody does something, then kuzokwenzeka major things will start happening. These things will cascade to your children. Sekutholakala abantwana abavela sebanama cancer and so forth, because you are not heeding the call ukuthi vaker hey moet wakker word. There's things that needs to be brought back into alignment, and that is the work that we are doing to help you bring those things into alignment according to your way. Nabantu bagini ukuthi nina fanele nenze njani vele masenikhohliwe, but what I know ukuthi noma ngabe nikhohliwe nina, somebody remembers, and that somebody uyasaba nokhuluma because ulinde wena gidiboni. Who emits wena, because as long as wena you are not coming, who is the person that is supposed to take the lead, all the ones that are supposed to be the supporters, they will not do anything. They will just keep quiet because they are scared. The person that is led to do this or to lead this family back, it is you. So you've got to take your part and do your part. If you don't do your part, those people are all going to be waiting, and when you are going to get more and more into more and more problems until you get to understand what is it that you need to do. So now I'm just saying, how do I take care of this body of mine? How do I take care of my non-physical body, the etheric body, because we've got different bodies. How do I take care of my emotional body? How do I take it? Because we've got all these different bodies, you need to know how to take care of them so that you are always in balance and you are no longer working against anything, but you are working in flow of whatever it is that you know you're supposed to. So that is all that I wanted to share. Actually, there's a lady, I hope she's going to see this, but I'm going to tell her Guti, I've done the video because she saw my status on WhatsApp, and then she reminded Guti I never shared Guti what are the things that I needed to do in order for us to fix these things. So Tina, those are the things that we need to do. We need to stay, go back and realign the family back to the things that we're no longer doing, by making sure Guti the marriage is starting with my own one, which it's properly aligned. The other marriages are properly aligned. That it even made sense about why my marriage the way in a corner, not between me and my husband. Is right. Saying to why it was an issue for us. What is singa logo siya kwa six na kon. What is the other side that one. And there were things that we needed to be done on his side of the family, just like the things that we needed to be done on my side of the family. Because mawuze mshadweni umuntu esifazane uhamba nabo gogo. So uhamba nabo gogo bona laba abangashatanga nabo benza ama-fat and set. So mawuze fat and set. Whether you are a woman or a man, just know ukuthi you are going to have problems, especially once you it's because you are neglecting this aspect, this person, and this is bringing, and we are busy saying anamali but we had the money to be fixing, to be throwing away trying to fix a car that is not going to get fixed anyway, because at the end of the day, that's not what we are supposed to be fixing. The money was supposed to be helping fix these things that have been neglected for the longest time, which some of them included our part that was not being done. Let me love you and leave you. Have yourself a wonderful evening further. If you need to get maybe clarity or a comment, thank you so much. Those are the only comments that I'm seeing at the moment. But feel free to connect, feel free to reach out, and then please, let's help ourselves go back to who we truly are. Because Tina, as Black people, especially, we knew how to work with nature. We understood how nature is, and we connected. We used symbols, we used everything else to make sure we are connected to nature and doing things properly. You are supposed to be inyanga, for example, or sangoma, or you're part of mamsebelets or whatever, and you know you're busy running away. Believe you me, on the things that you love the most. That's where you'll get the pinch and feel the pinch until you do something about it. Bye bye. Thank you so much. Thank you for the love. Thank you for coming through. Much love. Bye bye.